Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the Black Blockchain Summit 2023. And today we have, this amazing panel, and this baraza. The topic is building Web3 across the African diaspora. I'm Tongai Choto. I'm co-founder of AfriBlocks, which is a Pan-African freelance talent marketplace which helps African professionals connect with the African diaspora and the world in terms of providing skills, which is development, design, and marketing. And I'm joined here by, fellow entrepreneurs, fellow builders across the African diaspora, who are literally across the world. I'm calling in from Harare, Zimbabwe right now, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, briefly talk about what they're building, and then we can get on to the conversation, which is building Web3 across the African diaspora. I'll start with Carmen Rodriguez. If you can, give us an introduction, where you are and who you are and what you're building as well.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me and for doing this. I'm Carmen Rodriguez. I'm a journalist from El Salvador. I'm based in Washington, D.C., and I cover issues related to migration and root causes of migration from Central America mostly. And I was invited to talk about Bitcoin in El Salvador.
Thank you. Alice?
Hi, everyone. I'm Alice Anangi, founder and CEO of CryptSense Digital Group. CryptSense is the first digital assets capacity building and management platform in Africa. So we operate on four main business models. The first is training and capacity building. We train leaders, we train institutions, policymakers, government, so both private and public sector. We train students basically and empower them about the entire ecosystem of Web3 digital assets, basically creating opportunities for them that they never thought would come out of it before. And the second model is smart digital asset management. We have a team of algo traders from Africa, United States, Europe. We build our own algorithms, basically manage our own portfolios, and also support institutions in these types of services. We offer payments and settlements for institutions, on and off ramps, and custody solutions as the third model. Also compliance as a service. And lastly, we have an accelerator launchpad. So we support Web2 organizations that are transitioning to Web3 with the necessary technical support and basically all the expertise support they need to build on blockchain. And also we support blockchain startups that need access to partnerships, mentorship, basically technical expertise to build scalable solutions from Africa out into the world. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate all the great work that you're doing. Yvonne?
Hi everyone, I'm Yvonne Kagondo from Nairobi, Kenya. I am the founder of Kenya Blockchain Ladies DAO, which focuses on increasing Kenyan women involvement in Web3. And I'm also the co-founder at Kushite ICP.hub East Africa, which focuses on education, and acceleration. That means we also incubate projects on Web3, specifically those who are looking to build an ICP. It's lovely being here and meeting all of you.
Thank you so much. I do like, that we're all over the world. I'm literally in Zimbabwe, and the first question that I'm going to have is to come in. I think the thing, particularly in blockchain, that has happened over the years, when people talk about Bitcoin and its use cases, Zimbabwe and El Salvador probably come up. And the tough thing about it is most of the times it's being explained by people that are not on the ground. people that don't necessarily know what's going on. So it's super helpful. And that's why we do this, to have these conversations and let people globally know what's really going on and how, this either has been helpful, this can be improved, because all of this is new technology. So my first question to come in is, if you can, give us a walkthrough on how Bitcoin has been helpful or not, in the context of El Salvador and the government, trying to help its population on the best ways to use Bitcoin and to be able to be, not too held on by the US dollar and, all of those political things that we may not understand.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we saw approved the Bitcoin law in 2020. Is a year for now, in 2022, September 2022. There were a lot of promises around all this implementation of this law. One of the biggest promises of the government was the access to internet for everybody in El Salvador, for the whole population in El Salvador. But according to the World Bank data, only 6% of the population in the country have access to internet at this point. So the rural areas, they don't have any access. They don't have any access to the smartphones. They don't have any access to the financial system. Although there are 3 million users to social media networks, but only 45% of this population has direct access to the internet. Most of the people who have social media accounts are connected by phone services, and they do it when they have money to pay for the time to be connected. We heard that adopting the Bitcoin law will digitalize the economy, decrease dependence on the US dollars, as you mentioned, lower interest rates and remittances, and boost investments. None of this has happened in El Salvador. Only 34% of the population have access to the regular banking system at this point. People who live in rural areas and who do not have access to the financial system or a smartphone also do not have access to the online banking.
Yeah.
Dependence on the US dollars has not decreased. The country's economy has been dollarized since 2001. So economists and experts talks about that if El Salvador wants to build the path to do not depend on dollarization, has first to build an economic system to have a prevention plan in order to make a transition from dollarized to a different currency. Dependence on the interest rates on remittances didn't decrease neither. Only 1.63 of the $7.7 billion that El Salvador received in remittances sent from the United States was to use the digital wallets. People living in the US, they don't want to use digital wallets because they don't feel safe. They are not sure that their money is going through their people. Some of them also says that, like, for example, young people that have all parents living in El Salvador that receive remittances, they said that when they use it at the beginning of this Bitcoin fever, they got a problem because their parents had to hire someone to help them to move the money from the digital wallet to a regular bank. And then after that, they had to go to the bank to withdraw the money. So there were not like any significant difference in this. And we need to address that remittances represent 26% of the gross domestic product in the country. I mean, the third part of the economy from El Salvador depends on remittances. Investment also has decreased. in the last 6 months, the report addressed that 367 millions have decreased on the investment in El Salvador, and the prediction to close this year is negative for the country. The economic situation, and we understand that the economic situation is negative, and not only in El Salvador but in
globally,
around the world, due to the recession, inflation that we have seen since the pandemic. But the supposed increase in investment through Bitcoin was one of the government's great proposals didn't happen.
Gotcha. So I guess that because I'm one of the things that I'm hearing is around the to support that the rollout of Bitcoin, to give it out. So the infrastructure, it might be, internet connectivity, it might be, wallets, it might be mobile phones. So I want to talk about, next to Alice, and this is particularly around the Web3 infrastructure, because that's what now supports initiatives like this. So my question to Alice is, what have you seen that has been, super supportive to teach people on how to use these technologies, one, and then two, to actually build, because some of these things, cannot, they take time to actually work, and there are some challenges that you face along the way that you would not have thought about, initially. So what ways have you seen that help in this adoption of technologies and rollouts like this in the Web3 space?
Okay, if I speak from a perspective of Africa, basically, and even just the rest of the world, as we can tell from Carmen, there's a very big educational gap in as far as understanding how the technology works, and also seamlessly how you can be able to move money from your digital wallet using different payment infrastructures to actually get physical fiat, right? Which you have to have in order to make, payments and just basically live day to day. Yeah. So Africa, actually, I'd say, and I'd want to keep a particular focus to East Africa. That's why we are among the early adopters of this technology. And something that actually benefited us is the fact that we were introduced to mobile money almost close to a decade ago. Yeah. So mobile money it's a way we actually are very conversant and able to move money from each other, in a peer-to-peer way via text messages, right? And there are agents everywhere, and you can be able to cash in and cash out this money very easily. Like, the next retail shop or even your next door neighbor is an agent. Like literally, you can, it makes it easy for you to get the money from your wallet into your hand. Yeah. So we've been exposed to this for a very long period of time. And it got easy for us to actually build our own system through peer-to-peer transfers and trading. Yeah, exactly. So I have a digital wallet. Yvonne has a digital wallet. I just send a message to Yvonne, or I'm in the same group with her. I tell Yvonne, hey, I have Bitcoin today. I'm selling it at this price. Do you want it? And Yvonne says, yes, this is my offer. So we lock in the offer, and then now Yvonne is able to send me the money via mobile money. And I go next door to my next door neighbor and I tell them, hey, I have this on mobile money. Can I withdraw cash? And yes, the cash comes. So it becomes very, very easy for us to adopt this technology because we already had the mobile money infrastructure before, and our population was already exposed to the mobile money infrastructure, which is just the same, almost the same thing as how we transact on blockchain. Only now it's on the mobile network. Yeah. That's the
Got you.
difference between blockchain. Yeah, that's the difference between blockchain and mobile money. Yeah. So now let's look at education, because it's still a challenge even in Africa on our side. Yeah. You'll come to realize that this type of knowledge is actually like in the urban towns. Yeah. Where, of course, there's good mobile coverage, there's good internet coverage, and we have the youth who have already adopted to smartphones. Yeah. So they get exposure to these types of technology, educational content from YouTube, even from their own peers. We also have communities around that are constantly training, and creating these opportunities, but it's only happening in the urban areas. Yeah. So in the rural, it is still a challenge, one, mainly because of lack of connectivity, lack of smartphones, as we've agreed. And then now, thirdly, there's also a language barrier. So we have different countries speaking in different languages, and then different people speaking in different, of course, languages also. Yeah. So it becomes hard for them to understand because, yeah, we have the content in English.
Yeah, so I think that you brought about, an interesting perspective around mobile money. In Zimbabwe, we use EcoCash. I know in Kenya, there's M-Pesa. And every time you ask someone, how does EcoCash or M-Pesa work? They're like, I just send you money. Like, they don't think about the infrastructure, the databases, everything that goes on behind, because it works. So that's how I think, building in Web3, if we have that mindset, like everything that you're building should be built, should have a good user experience, good user interface, and basically be able to help people adopt that technology better. Which brings me to the question to Yvonne. If you don't know this, I read your weekly newsletter, what happened in Web3 in Kenya every week. And those are some of the things that I think are super helpful to people building in the space and education. So what are some of the ways you have used to build your community and to educate more women to come into the Web3 space? Talk about the way that you're doing at your DAO. How has that been going, and how can things like that be accelerated further globally in the African diaspora?
Okay. Well, thank you for reading my newsletter. How I look at it is I usually try to understand what appeals most to the local people. What do people want to know about blockchain? What do people want to see when they're interacting with the blockchain technology? And in Africa, most people associate blockchain with either scam or money. So, so what I did with the weekly newsletter was try to filter out information, try to show people where they can get legitimate details on what's happening in blockchain in Kenya, as opposed to most of the people who have interacted with crypto. It's usually peer-to-peer. It's usually a friend told this friend, this is how I make money, and then they end up in a pyramid scheme. And we're not really talking about how exactly do we get the legitimate means of legitimate information of blockchain. And with the DAO, I also use the same channel. What do women want to learn about blockchain? And women in Kenya specifically, we're looking at fast information, simplified information, not people talking hard jargons like we normally do in the tech industry. And 3, they were looking for jobs. How can we get employment opportunities in the blockchain industry? So it's not really when we look at most educational platforms in the blockchain, we use technical terms, we use a lot of hard jargons. But when we need to bring it back down to the people, we need to educate people in the language that they all understand. Which language are we speaking? Which language are the Africans speaking? They're not speaking decentralized distributed ledger technology. They're speaking, this is how you make money. This is how you send money. I believe it will get to a place where we'll be using blockchain without necessarily knowing that we're using blockchain. And at this point, what we try to encourage is to have more Africans building on the technology, because most of the time what we've been doing in the blockchain ecosystem is, especially in Africa, has been a lot of consumption of the the technology. A lot of the platforms that we use are usually coming from abroad into Africa, and a good number of us are users of this technology. Yep. So what we try to encourage at this point where we are is try to encourage more Africans, because you're using this technology. How about you build? How about you create your own product, which can be your fellow Africans? So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense, because it talks about how people use things that solve their problems, as opposed to something that's just a product that doesn't change anything in their day-to-day lives. Our time is almost up, but I'm going to give everyone a chance to talk about what you're building right now, and talk about the next say 2-3 months, where people can find you. If it's you need people to register with something, if you need people to reach out to you, starting with you, Vaughan.
You can find me. I'm mostly active on Twitter and LinkedIn. On Twitter and LinkedIn, I make weekly updates, as mentioned, and I try to be giving information on blockchain technology. I love interacting with people, and what I'm building is the Kushite ICP Hub. We're looking to evangelize and educate on blockchain technology. We're also looking to incubate, in case you have as I mentioned, that I'm really pro building, Africans building. In case you have a project that you'd like to get support from in terms of developer support, monetary support, community support, we are building that at the Kushite ICP Hub. Please also follow my DAO, Kenya Blockchain Ladies DAO, and hire us for our services. We offer services at DAO Ladies on Twitter and Kenya Blockchain Ladies DAO on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you. Carmen?
Yes, thank you. I'm more active on Twitter. So, and I talk more about human rights and migration, but because this is related directly with how implementation of Bitcoin is related to this issue, is that I'm doing more a little of Bitcoin. So you can find me on Twitter. I report for a newspaper in Mexico, the Americas program. And so and it was a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you so much. Alice?
I'm more active on LinkedIn. Basically, feel free to reach out to me. What we're building actually is an ecosystem in Africa to basically empower the youth to create more opportunities and jobs for them in blockchain companies, and also in traditional companies that are looking to adopt this type of technology. We are supporting companies to integrate payment solutions that accept crypto payments. We are supporting them to transition and basically increase crypto into their balance sheets. We are looking at compliance, and we are also training regulators and policymakers. So feel free to reach out to us if you want any support. Also join my community of Africa Women of Web3, where of course we bring women leaders from all over the world to come and empower women who are building in blockchain and Web3 in Africa and create opportunities for each other. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was an amazing panel, and I do hope everyone reaches out, because I can tell a lot of people have questions, follow-up questions on the work that you guys are doing, as well as the topic that we're talking about. Thank you so much. See you on the next panel.